Welcome to the PA is In, the show created by PAs for PAs, where codependency with your supervising physician is a thing of the past, optimal team practice is the future, and physician associate has taken the place of physician assistant as the professional title of choice. I'm Tracy Bingaman, and I'm obsessed with redefining what success as a PA looks like and what it feels like. Here you'll find the mindset shifts, systems, and processes I use to escape healthcare burnout and integrate my work into my life. Work-life balance is a myth, and an integrated life where you thrive professionally, not a balancing act, is the goal here. My mission is to help you to grow into a unicorn PA who loves their job, has abundant energy, time to spare, and work-optional financial freedom. The PA is in. Are you feeling like you should be making more money in your role as a PA, but you aren't sure why or how to ask for more? Today on The PA is In, I'm sharing 7 signs that you are due to renegotiate your contract, improve your hours, and specifically land a raise in your current position as a PA. Medicine, unlike corporate America and many other industries, seem to be this area where you get put on a conveyor belt instead of an escalator or an elevator in terms of pay. Don't get me wrong, your skills are improving and more than likely your clinical and administrative burdens are growing as well. But your paycheck may be lagging behind. Today, I'm sharing 7 signs that you are due for a raise and that it's time to renegotiate for more money. I'll talk a lot about increasing your pay today, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention before we started that anytime you're ready to ask for more money or you feel tempted to ask for more money, you can ask for a better schedule, for decreased job responsibilities, more flexibility and admin time instead of a raise or in addition to a raise. This is not either or, and money is not the only thing that you can ask for. So don't limit yourself to believing that negotiations are all about pay. There are tons of non-monetary benefits that you can ask for that will improve your life as well as your paycheck. Thinking about it in this global view of compensation is so important. These things will improve your quality of life, and sometimes that feels even better than more dollars in your next direct deposit. As someone who has gone from overworked, overwhelmed, undercompensated to feeling like I get paid well and working only 24 hours a week, trust me, non-monetary benefits are so, so important. Okay, but we are going to talk about money today. Let's dive into these 7 signs that you are due for a raise at work. Number 1, your last performance review didn't result in specifically a merit-based pay increase. There's a little bit of nuance here. In medicine, we have annual reviews or evaluations that do not often result in specifically merit-based increases in your pay. All too often, we have a review, we receive positive feedback, we're handed the same mediocre or terrible cost of living increase that our colleagues who got a mediocre performance review got. It's time to use that positive feedback from your performance review and help integrate that into the proof that you've needed to validate the value that you're adding to your practice and turn those compliments into compensation. You don't have to wait another year until your next performance evaluation to use this positive review as leverage. You can use that feedback and other feedback you've received from colleagues and patients, your data and productivity to request a compensation review and increase in your pay from your admin team. If you've had glowing performance reviews followed by bland or non-existent cost of living increases, here's your sign that it's time to negotiate for more pay. Second reason, you're a linchpin in your organization. A linchpin, something that your organization, group, or department cannot function without. A linchpin is a key piece of a machine that without it, things stop working or fall apart. If you're the only one who's technically able or logistically willing to perform a specific role inside your group, that puts you in an incredibly powerful position to negotiate. Say you work for a group and they need weekend night coverage, and you're the only one willing to do this. Or maybe they have a specific subset of patients that no one else is capable or willing to take care of. Possibly you're the one who does the scheduling, recruiting, onboarding of new providers for your group because everyone else is simply unwilling or uninterested in doing this. Those specific skills make you extra valuable to your team. Use those roles, that unique nature and your skill set. Here is your sign that it's time to ask for a raise and for them to compensate you for being the linchpin that you are. Number 3, the market rate for your job is now more than you are making. You may see or feel this one if you think that the new grads in your area are making more than you. Maybe you've noticed that new hires are getting sign on bonuses or retention bonuses, and that they might be making more money than you, even though you have more experience and you're already generating revenue for your practice simply because of the market and the timing of when you were hired as compared to when they were hired. So here's the thing about the economy. It's constantly changing. And if you were hired 6 months or 6 years ago, the market for PAs at that time in your area was undoubtedly different than it is now. When people are hired, the organization and the individual reach an agreement about pay and schedule and all those things based on the current economic climate. That economic climate is true for you too, right now, even as an established provider of that practice. If your organization is spending significant dollars on recruiting and the expense of credentialing, onboarding, and bringing on new providers, it would be really costly for them to replace you, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, and they'd possibly end up paying the new provider more than you are making. If this is true for you in your area of the country, in your area of medicine, and in the current economic climate, here's your sign that you are due to ask for a raise. Number 4, your practice would lose money if you left. This one is true for pretty much every PA who's practicing medicine and generating any kind of revenue, value, or benefit for the practice. If you're in surgery and you're doing a lot of non-billable visits in that pre or post-op global period, hang in there. I'm going to talk to you specifically in a minute. If you leave, your practice will immediately see a dip in their revenue. If you're inpatient, they'll pull someone outpatient from somewhere else to cover you, decreasing outpatient access. If you work outpatient in the clinic, those visits that you see that generate revenue, they'll have to wait until there is availability on another provider's schedule, delaying the opportunity for that person to make that money. You are absolutely generating revenue for your practice, and this has gone up over time because you've become more efficient and you've started seeing more patients. Surgery PAs. Told you I wouldn't forget about you. Even if you're office based without significant first assisting RVUs, you're generating incredible value to your organization. Anything you do in this surgical realm is offloading your surgeon's schedule and increasing your revenue generating ability. They can see new patients, do more surgery, and be more productive themselves. You are responsible for that increase in their revenue. You are responsible for amplifying their revenue generating ability, and this is exponential. So they are making more money because of the work that you are doing. So even if your RVUs aren't great, even if your bottom line revenue isn't great, you can take 2 steps and realize their revenue is better because of the work and the value and the patients that you're seeing and the offloading that you're doing from their schedule, making them more available, more productive, and better revenue generators for their organization. If you are bringing in money, honey, it is time to ask for a raise. If none of the other ones spoke to you, this one is true of you, period. Number 5, your role and responsibilities have increased, but your pay has not. This can be in the form of a leadership role, supervising your clinical or clerical support team, seeing more patients in a day, orienting others. Essentially, any other duties as assigned that you've accumulated during your time at this organization or inside of your specific job. These things reflect an increase in your responsibility. We are terrible about asking for more money when they give us more responsibilities. So oftentimes your roles and your responsibility will outstrip your earnings. And you'll start to feel the squeeze of like, I'm doing so much, but I'm not making any more. Honestly, you're probably contributing in way more ways than you realize. leadership meetings, participating in committees, quality improvement projects, improving access and patient care at your practice. You have been making significant contributions and improvements in your group, and more than likely, you're not being compensated for those. We recently, so here's an example from my own life. We recently had a surgeon retire from our group. He had been operating in our area for over 30 years. So, needless to say, he had a massive following, lots of patients that had been seeing him for a long time. In anticipation of his departure, I approached our leadership team about putting a specific plan in place to retain his patients. We sat down with the front desk. We decided to offer specifically his injectable patients a discount on their first treatment with one of our advanced practice injectors. We wanted these patients not to go elsewhere and for us to retain them. So we did this at the time when the patients were checking out from their last treatment with him. So it helps us to retain the majority of his patients. It helped us for them to feel seen and cared for, and for them to enjoy this discount to sort of smooth the way to trying a new provider in our practice with less financial risk on their part. So these patients have been seeing him for 30 years. We're saying, hey, he's not here anymore. Would you like to see this other provider? We offered them a discount. We offered them priority scheduling and to book them at that time so they could get the appointment time that they wanted, really trying to smooth and pave the way. We came up with a script for them to say to established surgery patients who are thinking about getting a surgery with one of our other surgeons to help make that transition as smooth as possible. The front desk rehearsed this scripting. They did it over the phone when patients called for an appointment with him after the time when he was accepting appointments, and also for people who are checking out, who are looking to book an upcoming appointment for them. So by doing this, specifically asking the patients at checkout, we didn't give them the opportunity to go home, Google Botox prices, find other providers or practice, and we kept them patronizing our practice. We worked to make that transition so smooth and seamless from the retiring surgeon to other surgeons or other providers in our practice that it wasn't a lot of friction or resistance for them. So that project earned our practice money. It improved patient care. It wasn't a required part of my job description. It was this area that I saw a potential problem and that I went about facilitating a solution to that problem. These are the types of things that when you do them, they increase your value and they improve the experience for your patients. These increased roles and responsibilities, little projects and problems that you have solved, big projects and problems that you have solved, whether voluntary or assigned, they increase your value as a PA to the practice. And if you're doing them, which I know that you are, here is your sign to ask for more money. Number 6, you've been offered a job at another practice. If you've had discussions with another group, or you've gotten a call out of the blue, or you've even gone so far as to get a formal job offer from another group, but you've decided that you'd rather stay where you are, this can be a great opportunity to leverage that offer to generate a raise for you at your existing job. Having another offer on the table is something that you can use to remind your employer that you are, in fact, a valuable asset who could find employment elsewhere on the open market. The cost to replace you is 1 to 2 times your salary. By the time you factor in Loft's revenue, the cost to recruit, train, and onboard a new you, it is so much more cost effective for your employer to retain you than to have to recruit and replace and find a new you. So I want you to use this to your advantage. Ask them to meet or exceed that offer that you got. And honestly, the offer that you received from someone else doesn't even need to be more salary or better hours or anything better. Simply having an offer from another employer is sometimes enough to get them to say, whoa, we really don't want to lose this person. We're going to offer this bump. We're going to offer a retention bonus. We're going to offer an increase in base salary so that you'll stay, because they realize that it's expensive to replace you, and they realize the revenue that you're generating and the value that you're adding to the practice and the great care that you're taking to patients. So if you have an offer from another group, here's your sign to ask for a raise. I feel like that comedian, gosh, I do not know what his name is. Was there a comedian years ago that said, like, here's your sign? I feel like that because I've said it a lot. 7, last but not least, another reason that you are due to ask for a raise. Your practice is thriving and growing. You're taking great care of patients, and you are a big part of that. I know this to be true about you, that you are doing a kick-ass job taking care of your patients, that you are thorough and complete, that you are going above and beyond what the average PA is doing, that you are exceptional at your job. All of those that you are doing are contributing to the growth of your practice, to that reputation that you have, that other people are referring their friends to see you, that your department or group is thriving and growing. A thriving practice is a great opportunity for you to highlight the role that you play within that practice, the specific value that you add, and the reasons that them paying you more makes sense. If your practice has grown, added new providers, has a great reputation, and is thriving, you can show the part that you play within that. Here's your sign to ask for more money. So certainly these 7 signs are not exhaustive. They're not tired at all. No, these 7 signs are not an exhaustive list of all of the possible reasons that you should ask for a raise. So here is what I believe. Asking for a raise is just as much about trusting your gut and that feeling deep inside your bones that you deserve to be earning more as it is to the logic that I have presented as a part of this episode. Even if you listened to every single reason and thought, well, that's not specifically true for my situation, or my situation is unique because, or my situation is different because, but you're still feeling like you should be earning more money than you're earning, then go ahead and ask for a raise. First of all, you don't need permission from anyone. But if you're looking for permission from someone, here is me giving you permission, encouraging you, reminding you to not forget to reevaluate your compensation. You are being asked to do more. You are adding incredible value to your patients, to your practice. You are providing exceptional care within your department and group. You deserve to earn more than you're earning. Now, if you need a personalized pep talk, let me know. I have one-on-one coaching slots for PAs in positions of transition who need negotiation skills brushed up so that when you ask for a raise, you actually get it. So there's 2 ways that you can work with me. One-on-one coaching, ongoing, weekly throughout the month, where we help to bone up your confidence, where I show you the ways that you're adding value to your practice, where I give you some of these things that might be hard to come up with yourself. Or I offer one-time negotiation consults, where if you're trying to decide between 2 jobs, or if you want to be really, really effective in asking for this raise, I will give you the advice on how to land that raise that you are probably overdue for. If you are raising your hand throughout this episode, like, that's me, I'm doing that, I'm adding that value, I'm doing that role, I am seeing more patients than ever, I'm doing more shifts than ever, but I'm not getting paid more. Great opportunity to have a negotiation consult with me, and I will help you to know how to approach, who to approach, what skills to use so that you can land that raise and have some of those hard conversations and not walk in terrified. So links for a complimentary consultation if you're interested in coaching in the show notes, link to schedule a negotiation consult also in the show notes. You, my friend, are such a valuable asset to that organization. You know it. I know it. And honestly, your employer knows it too. Otherwise, you wouldn't be working there and they wouldn't be employing you. I will see you next time on The PA is In. Congratulations. You've just joined an awesome club. By listening to a full episode of The PA is In, you are officially on the Unicorn PA team. Welcome aboard. What most team members do is they subscribe to the podcast because that allows them to automatically get the latest episode of the show. The life of your dreams exists on the other side of taking action. Keep making small shifts and keep getting better. Your life will improve, your career will soar, and you will have the confidence you need to create your own success. I will see you in the next episode. This PA is out.